I'm going to take a spin a little bit differently. The spin I'm going to take is having a conversation about lonely consciousness. We've just begun our dive into dangerous consciousness, a community of individuals that are learning how to break free, break through, and break onto their next and best self. And I just want you to understand that the things that you're doing here today, the things that you're differently. The spin I'm going to take is having a conversation about lonely. Are they going to last? So the conversation today about loneliness consciousness doesn't mean that it's just on today, right? The holidays are usually a time for people to feel lonely, to feel left out, to feel out of place. You know what happens? All of that is, if you're feeling particularly a bit lonely today, out of sorts, don't have your significant other, you just had a breakup. The question then becomes are you good company? Are you good company when it's not the holiday? Is this just a moment where the energy shifts? If you feel that energy shifts on a holiday, preparing for it, Easter, the rise of Jesus from the tomb, however you see it, or the Easter bunny coming in, it's lots of chocolate, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. If you believe that a day changes your energy, drop an E in the chat. And it's okay that it does. I'm not saying there's anything peculiar about it. It's okay that it does. Most days allow us the opportunity to be in service to others, to be in joy with others, right? Christmas, Memorial Day, Labor Day, these places where you're on the water, last day on the water, all of these things. Valentine's Day is a peculiar day because it's one where it has become the commercial of loving somebody else. And I agree that it's a good day that we should bring flowers and buy chocolates. I'm just not sure that it's on one day only. Right? Mother's Day, one day only, they get a day off. So where does this loneliness consciousness come from? This comes from our programming. It comes from this idea, this concept, this belief that we need others to make us happy. It's rare that we're taught, unless you were a single child. Any of you a single child growing up? If you were a single child, drop an S in the chat. If you were an only child, drop an S in the chat. Single child, only child. And here's what happens. You have a peculiar way about you because you probably know how to get along by yourself, right? And the question is that in meditation, most people have a challenge in meditation. Most people have a challenge in meditation. The reason they have a challenge in meditation is because they're not good company. Oh, meditation, I tried it. It's so hard. I can't slow down my thoughts. You're not good company. Meditation is so hard. My mind races. You're not good company. My meditation is so difficult. I tried it, but it just, I keep thinking bad things. You're not good company with yourself. So if you want to engage people in your business, if you want to enroll people into your organization, if you want people to have what you're looking for, what you're going for, do they want to have loneliness consciousness? Why is it that, how many of you, tell me this, how many of you have offered help to your community, offered help to your teams, and they said, oh, thank you, I'm so glad you're here. This makes me so comfortable that you're here. You offered help, drop an H, and they didn't use it. Drop an H in the chat that you offered it and they didn't use it. You know why? Because their loneliness consciousness bumped up against yours, and the two never met. I know that might feel a little bit hard or harsh. I'm just speaking to you the laws of the universe. It's not my rules. It's not my interpretation. Their loneliness didn't find somebody to connect with. Their loneliness found somebody else who was lonely, and two of the same don't often add up to more. Two wrongs don't make a right, right? So how do we change that? How do we become aware of that? We begin to fall in love with ourselves. Here's an exercise you can do today. One, do what Einstein did. Do what Einstein did. If you could do what Einstein did without having to learn all of quantum theories and mechanics and everything else, would that be cool? If you could do the secret ingredient, let me get closer here. If you could do the secret ingredient that Einstein spoke of, that allowed him to create his wild, amazing success, would you want to know it? Here's what it is. I'm sure you're going to want to know it because you'd want to know it, right? You'd want to know what made Einstein amazing. What he claims, because he stood on the shoulders of giants, that's his words, not mine. He stood on the shoulders of giants. He said, thank you, 100, not 10, 100, not 20, 100, not 30, 100. You see what I'm going to do? I'm going all the way through this. Not 40, 100 times. He said, thank you. Not 50 a day, 100 a day. Not 60, 100 a day. Not 70, 100. Not 80. 100 times a day, at least 100 times a day. He thanked people, not 90. You thought I was going to miss 90. 100 times a day. How many people did you thank yesterday? I promise you, in today's energetic field that exists in the globe, I love going to Walmart. I don't necessarily like shopping. I love going to Walmart. Why? Because I can be outstanding. And here's why I can be outstanding. Have you ever seen somebody who's doing their work, they're doing their job, especially in the public environment, in the public eye? Did you ever see where somebody is just absolutely so myopic, so focused, so tunnel visioned? And they're not tunnel visioned because they're really into their job. They just they don't even think we exist when we walk by them. How many of you know that expression, know that feeling? You've seen somebody, drop a 1 in the chat. If you've ever seen somebody they don't want to talk to you. And so what happens is the anterior cingulate cortex in their brain is sending out a radio receiver going, no, you suck. No, don't talk to me. No. And it's this constant little force field around them. No, nope. Everybody's beneath me, below me. My life sucks. I have a job at Walmart. I'm stocking shelves. Whatever the story is, I'm in network marketing. So I usually make it a point to pick up on their energy, find a little crack in their armor. And I'll walk over to them and I'll say, hey, listen, has anybody told you thank you for keeping the store so wonderful for us? And you would be shocked. You'd have thought I gave them a $10,000 check. A thank you is worth a lot. I go out of my way to change the state, to enhance the state of the aisle I'm walking down. Listen, it's very selfish because I want to be self-full. I don't want to have to, if I need to go look for garbanzo beans and I'm standing next to somebody who's doing the shopping. Do you ever talk to somebody who's doing the shopping and they say, I'm being timed? How many of you have ever heard a shopper who says, I'm being timed? Who's being timed? I know they're being timed. I heard that because somebody told that to me. So I'll walk up to them and I'll say, listen, I know you're being timed. I'm not asking you for stuff. I just want to thank you for shopping for all of us and making life a little bit easier. I don't know if everybody says thank you to you. I just want you to know I thank you. You probably have picked some of my groceries and I'm grateful for you. And their whole energy shifts. Now the whole energy in the aisle shifts. You can watch this. I do this. This is my own little incubator test tube. I'll look at the aisle before I go down and I'll look at where everybody's shoulders are. I'll look at how they're rolled it forward. I'll look at how they're playing very small. I just look at this is again. Why am I saying this? Because everybody in the store is freaking lonely. Everybody you're going to have a conversation with is lonely. They are missing out on their own dreams. They haven't found themselves. It's not that they're not with people. How many of you have ever been with people in a party and been alone? Drop a PL. You've been in a party and you've been alone. I know I have. So if you've been in a party and you've been alone, then the question then becomes, how is that possible? Because you're not good company. This idea that we're lonely or nobody likes us, it's because we're not good company. It's because we haven't adapted and adopted and we haven't taken control of our consciousness. These are your own thoughts. There's people who love you, I promise you. There's people who love you, I promise you. I love you. But you don't know me. I don't need to know you to love you. It's not that I think that I have to fall in love with you. I fall in love with you, period. Now, you may you may rewire me to not love you, But right now, I love you. But you think the rewire works. It doesn't work. I just love you in a different way. So all I'm saying is that today, take control of your consciousness. How you take control of your consciousness? Write down 500 things. I know that sounds like a lot. 500 things until you get it going. It's really not a lot. 500 things you've done well. You've forgotten to give yourself some accolades. You've forgotten to, as my friend Joseph McClendon III says, you've forgotten to give yourself a little reward. You ready? Put your right hand up, lean forward, pat yourself on the back. That's a JM3 compliment. Write down 500 things you've done well. You're thinking I have to do things that are noteworthy, that were publishable, that were notable on the news. No. I'm talking about 500 things you didn't know you could do. You did. 500 things you didn't know you could do. You did, and you did it by yourself. You did it on your own, even though somebody was there, maybe cheering you on, riding your first bike, your first kiss, your first romantic interlude, the first time on a plane. How many of you remember first time on a plane? Some of you may have been babies in today's society. When I was growing up, we had to hard start the prop and everything. No, I'm not that old. First time driving a car. First time hearing a foreign language. First time seeing somebody outside of your family. First time meeting family. All of these things are things you did on your own. There's not a single thing you did with anybody. There are always things you did on your own. There are always things you did on your own. There are things you always did in your world. So if you want to change the way you look at you, start to say thank you to you for 500 things you've done. We all hear about before we wake up in bed, before we get out of bed, we need to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We need to say, put one foot on the floor, say thank, and the other foot on the floor and say you. Say thank you, thank you, thank you as you pick up the covers. Thank you for the covers. Thank you for the manufacturers. Thank you for the packaging that it was in. Thank you for the sheet that I have on. Thank you for the bottom sheet I have on, for the stretchy sheet. I don't know what you call it, the bottom sheet. What do you call the bottom sheet on the bed? Is that what it's called, the bottom sheet on the bed? The one that I'm never sure you can get that last corner. Fitted sheet. There you go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Fitted sheet. That happens to come from a mom. Absolutely. Fitted sheet. Sean, would you please grow up? Thank you, Mom Nadine, but you're not my mom. You're young enough to be my little sister. So all this to say, begin to fall in love with you first. If you're waiting on somebody else to love you, to find your love, that's not going to work. It doesn't work that way. It can't work that way. It's impossible to work that way. It's standing in front of a fire saying, give me heat, I'll give you wood. And there's no heat there because there's no wood, because there's no flame. You have to have the flame inside of you. It's okay to love you. Type, it's okay to love me. Type, it's okay to love me. I love me. I love me. Bob Proctor said it. I love me 22 years ago when I was personally, my bride and I were personally mentored by Bob Proctor, Some of you know him as this amazing and unbelievable genius. He is. He's also got a sense of humor that is second to none. And he used to say all the time, love myself. I love me. I can't get enough of me. Is it time for you to get enough of you? That's your consciousness conversation today. Dangerous Consciousness is currently closed for enrollment. It'll open back up if you want to be on the waiting list. We'll probably accept 20 to 25 the next go around as we go. It's an ongoing basis, so the group is going to continue to grow. So I've got some time now. I've got about 45 days to manifest with some of these amazing souls who are in the first round, to manifest in such a way that they can provide you guidance and provide you teachings. And that is only 45 days old. Wouldn't it be neat to learn secrets that are only 45 days old versus these conversations we have where it's 40 years old and 100 years old, and they said this in the turn of the century, and they're all great information. The challenge is that it's all available to you and you're not believing it right now. So you need to see some new and fresh success. I'm going to teach you that. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you by example how people can expand and explode their life in a matter of 72 hours. If you'd like to be a part of that next round, that next opening, send me a message. I've got a landing page that's going up that you can access that. So today, just start with yourself. Start with writing down 50 things you love about you, 50 things you've done well. And if you're not sure, go ahead and ask through dropping your ego, and ask your community, your social media, what do you think I do well? See, that one takes a lot. It doesn't, but for many, it takes a lot and they won't do it. because you're afraid to get the ball started. Because if all of a sudden people love you for who you are, you come to realize that you might need to love you for who you are. So happy Valentine's Day. I love you for who you are. I love you for who you're becoming. I love you for who you've been, because in this moment, you're all of that. You're somebody who you're becoming. You're somebody who's been, and you're somebody who's now. And you're all of that energy. You're all of that frequency. And I love all of that. It's like this amazing chocolate chip, macadamia nut, coconut, crispy, you name it, banana cream pie, cake, chocolate cookie, wonder thing of beauty. And you're amazing. You're a little bit of everything. And I love a little bit of everything. I love that you're a little bit of a cracked shell, because that means you have expansion on your horizon. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling, dangerous consciousness guide. I'll see you where? I'll see you at the next event. Till then, bye for now. Love you tons, YouTube. Appreciate you so very, 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 very much. And we're going to have about 5 minutes of conversation here, and then we're going to break. And Dangerous Consciousness starts at the top of the hour. Dangerous Consciousness starts at the top of the hour. If you've got access to that, if